Life's got a way of shocking us with change. And not always is that change something that can be um, qualified as a change. But sometimes you're on the same path in the same place, but you're moving at a completely different speed. Your consciousness has changed, and everything about you has changed, and you know it has. But it's not always easy to tell others about it. So I'm going to share with you 5 herbs that can help at times like that, when you are facing life change, big life changes. These 5 herbs have helped me a lot in my life, and I am going to tell you about them because they can hold your hand and get you through shock and those demanding times when you feel very overwhelmed. Herbs might not be people, but they are people. They can do things for you that angels do. So the first herb I'm going to tell you about, it's licorice. Now, licorice is famous because it's somewhat sweet. I personally don't like it, but I chew it every day because I need to keep chewing something to keep my my facial muscles in place. So that's why I do it. But here's the thing about licorice. It can strengthen the gut. When you're going through changes, one of the first things that happens is your digestive system gets a little thrown out of gear. It can be overwhelmed by the slightest assault, by which I mean different foods or something a little spicier than usual or something a little different. Now, licorice can help with that. It strengthens the muscles all over. It's strengthening. Licorice, strengthening. Okay, so licorice is the first herb. The second one is Bacopa monnieri, also known as Brahmi. Now there are 2 herbs known as Brahmi interchangeably. One is Centella asiatica, which is gotukola, and one is Brahmi. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about Bacopa monnieri. It is a herb that grows on the ground. It doesn't grow more than maybe a quarter of a foot or half a foot high, and it grows in shady places. And the amazing thing about this herb is that it can deliver energy to the brain. Now, when you're going through an overwhelming situation, the brain loses a lot of energy thinking this way and that way, and if this could be done, if that could be done, all that sort of thing. And that transfers on to the subconscious, where you need to start prioritizing what to spend your mental energy on. And you can't sit and write down, I'm going to think about this and I'm going to think about that. The amazing thing about this herb is that it will prioritize things in your subconscious. It will help your own subconscious prioritize things, and that makes a very big difference, because suddenly you can start remembering what you need to remember. You can focus on what you need to focus on, and it's just great that way. Now you can use parsley as well for vital energy to the brain. Okay, just plain good old brain energy. A teaspoon of parsley to a cup of water, make a little tea out of it, you have it, you will feel the effect. I would say 10 to 15 minutes at the most, you will feel the effect. Now I chose Brahmi over parsley for those that I make treatments for, because parsley has a bit of a diuretic effect, in the sense that it can stimulate the urinary system, it can stimulate the uterus, and not everybody wants that. But otherwise, it's something you have in your home right now. Most people do, or you can get at the supermarket, and it will give you vital brain energy. The next thing we need to have as part of our arsenal to deal with overwhelming life changes is rose hips. Now, rose hips is the fruit of the rose plant. And as lovely and gentle and tender as the rose flower is, with its gentle fragrance, the fruit is a fighter. It's a fighter. It has everything you could possibly need to fight the drop in immunity that usually comes as part of a big life change. So rose hips, it's available as a tea. You can get the tincture, you can get essential oil, you can get any number of forms of rose hips. But it's great. It's great. It has not caused any sort of negative effects in anyone as far as I know. So you can't do wrong with it. It does have a bit of a tart taste. So if you're giving it to children or you don't like too much of the tart taste, then you can add some honey, just a bit of honey, and you'll be fine. The next herb is the pine. Now the pine grows in soils that are depleted. It will grow anywhere. And the pine has all that it takes to inspire re-establishment in us. I mean that on an emotional level, on a mental level, and on a physical level as well. So pine in the form of, let's say, a tea of pine needles or the tincture of pine needles or pine bark, it will do a wonderful job. If you have to take one herb to help you re-establish yourself when your foundations are shaken, if you have to choose one thing to do, one botanical, because pine isn't really a herb, but if you had to take one botanical, that should be pine. It will help you re-establish yourself. It will help you get your energy field repaired. A lot of people use pine as part of their cancer treatment protocols, and this is why. This is why when your energy field is shattered, your nervous frequency changes, your physical and your body chemistry changes, and life changes can do that. And they're doing it for a reason, because it's time for you to change and time for you to move on. And at a time like this, pine can help you. The next herb that could help at this time is heather. Now, heather is a wild herb and it grows all over the hills in certain parts of the world. My great-great-grandfather, John Waltham, he grew up going to these places, these wild places where heather grew. And he told me that in all the years that he went and sat in these places and spent time there, he never found two heather flowers that were exactly the same. Each one was different. And that is what the heather is about. It has everything it takes to inspire us to remember our own unique person and our own unique purpose. Because you see, the heather grows every year and you burn it down and it will grow back better than before. I mean, it will grow back lusher. It's amazing. It maintains itself through the ultimate destruction. It's more than its body. It's more than a place. It's a consciousness, a strong consciousness that has the ability to retain its purpose and its memory. Its botanical name is Calluna vulgaris. It's an extremely common wild herb. You can get tinctures of it, you can get it and make tea. It's extremely strengthening on a holistic level. Okay? And now the last one is mugwort. Mugwort is a bridge engineer. You just have to remember mugwort, bridge engineer. When we go through shock and overwhelming changes, the bridges between our body, our mind, our spirit can get shaken. To build back the connections, mugwort is a herb, a nervine that brings up sensitivity. I know it might not seem like a time for more sensitivity. A lot of people deal with change, drastic, hard change, by numbing out, by escaping from reality. That is not the way to deal with it, because you will have to deal with everything that you're escaping now later. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to gather up baggage for later. You want to deal with everything on the spot. Mugwort can help you do that. Again, you can take it in its tincture form. You just need a few drops. I'll put in the information on an article I'm going to type up after this, and which I will link to at the bottom of this video. And you can get the information on how much you need to put into let's say a glass of water or 100 ml bottle of medicine, and you'll be fine. But when you're overwhelmed, don't try to slug it out alone when you have angels to help you. And I mean that in every way. You have angels with you. You have angels to help you. And that's why God made herbs. It's their life purpose to help us. And we're just doing the natural thing by taking herbs for healing.